We're gonna need more booze, fat boy. Yo, Barry. All right. Come on, Smeagol. Come on. Get him. Come on. Get him.
And I am actually not a loser. I am enormously successful on YouTube and...
Yo, Barry. It's time for the movie review, man. I can't believe you paid $60 for this crappy game.
Yeah, shut up. I still gotta get dressed.
Well, hurry up. The Jake Paul brothers have already released like 4 videos today.
All right. It's the holidays, so we're analyzing the best Christmas movie of all time, 1988's Scrooged.
I mean, what about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? That's a good one. And a lot of our viewers are into movies like Elf. Hell, what about A Christmas Story? You know, you'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah, those are all fine, Fly, but there's more for us to talk about when it comes to Scrooged. For starters, it's based on the Charles Dickens classic.
Bro, I can't believe you sent back all that furniture I bought.
I told you we can't afford nice things. Besides, it's funnier if we're poor. Now, what the hell is that thing?
What, this? Well, I've been calling it Chekov's Catapult. It's a little Christmas present to myself.
If I find out that you used our ad money to buy a goddamn...
Oh, take it easy, Orson. I've mostly just been using it to blast holes in your drywall.
Watch it, asswipe! Okay, so 1988's Scrooged is directed by perennial nice guy Richard Donner and stars the one and only Joel Murray. And also Bill.
God, I love Bill Murray. He's a performative genius. He's the Pele of acting. I've named thousands of my kids after him.
Yeah, we'll get to Bill Murray, but first we gotta talk about tone. That's one of the big successes that Richard Donner manages to strike here.
Tone? Man, this movie's tone is all over the road. What are you talking about?
Yeah, shut up. I think it works. So Bill Murray plays Francis Xavier Cross, a big-time executive at IBC. This movie has great fun satirizing the god-awful holiday specials that pervaded the 70s and 80s.
We are excited, aren't we?
Whoa, super inappropriate. Man, this is like peeking into your bedroom after sundown.
Sorry. I meant these ones.
When it's Bob Goulet's old-fashioned Cajun Christmas.
Meanwhile, Frank Cross, whose name indicates both his volatile temper and his potential for Christly redemption, wants IBC to broadcast a Yuletide bloodbath.
7 o'clock, Psycho sees Santa's workshop. The night the reindeer died. Christmas Eve on IBC. You'll love it.
Which brings us to Bob Scratch Goldfarb.
The name is Bobcat Goldthwait, Barry, and he's sort of like a less revolting version of you. Have I ever told you you look like a hemorrhoid with eyes?
Bobcat plays one of the best parts in this movie. Elliot Loudermilk, an employee of Frank Cross who gets shit-canned because he wages war against Christmas.
Yo, that's not why he gets fired. He gets fired for criticizing the great Bill Murray.
Think I'm way off base here?
Yes, you're a tad off base, sir.
The rest of Laundermilk's saga plays out like the last 20 years of my miserable life.
Hey, hi, honey. We have to move to a studio apartment.
Elliot Loudermilk's leaving early today. Duh!
The important thing is that Laundermilk plays one of 2 different Bob Cratchit types in this movie. Throughout the course of a single day, we have to watch as the effects of Cross's assholishness ruin Laundermilk's entire life.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Drive, $20 a pint. Come on, folks.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of Bobcat these days. I guess mostly he's into directing. Did you hear about his beef with Seinfeld?
I have friends inside Hollywood. I find out about this stuff way before you do.
Bro, you don't even have friends outside of Hollywood. Let's play the clip.
Oh yeah,
Did you go off on him
on
first?
millionaire comedians bitching about their diamond
Oh,
shoes
yeah,
being too
yeah.
tight.
I didn't notice that.
While they make fun of the working class people in cars no one can afford show.
Exactly.
Or whatever. But my friend Bridget Everett was on his show, and then it's really weird. She goes, well, I love him. And he's like, it's good that you love him, because audiences don't love him. They love me, because I got talent, and I got skills. It's really weird. And then he laughs like,
What's your posture there, pre-diabetes Dracula? Are you on Team Bobcat or Team Seinfeld?
Yeah, but you told me not to bag on celebrities. You said it splits the fan base.
Don't be scared, homie. We don't have a fan base. Let's hear some more Bobcat.
I made a joke, about him banging that high schooler when he was in,
17.
and then,
Shoshana.
so he's still mad. I didn't fit in his idea of what comedy should be.
Barry, who's the least funny character on Seinfeld?
That's not a fair question.
Well, is it George?
No!
Is it George's dad?
Serenity now! I mean, no. We got Festivus stuff all over the goddamn apartment.
And I bet Elaine and Kramer also aren't the least funny characters. Let's hear some more Bobcat.
So he fires first, and it's like, that's why he does that dumb character. That's the only way he can make people laugh. And I go, your biggest talent is being Larry David's friend. Boom.
Oh, yes! What a sick burn for the Bobster.
So you admit that Jerry Seinfeld is overrated as shit?
Listen, Seinfeld the show was great, but if Jerry had any sense, he'd humble himself and admit that he was lucky to participate. His stand-up has aged about as well as my sphincter. And if I'm on a team of any kind, it's Team LD.
Well, I'm glad you got some sense, but you still look like a mortician who fondles the corpses when no one's looking.
And a Merry Christmas to you, you little sucker. Why don't you stand under the mistletoe there and see if you get a kiss?
Yeah, I'm not gonna fall for that one again. Anyway, it's time for the ad break.
Time to get paid!
Today's movie breakdown is sponsored by Fungilong, the new herbal hair growth supplement. I mean, we've seen the analytics. All 3 of our viewers are going bald as shit.
Each bottle of Fungilong is made from enough mushrooms to sustain a Manhattan soup kitchen for an entire weekend. But Fungilong is taking those mushrooms and crushing them into a fine powder and then selling them back to pathetic, balding, desperate Americans. Americans who are overweight and profoundly unhealthy. Americans with stupid-sounding names, like Barry.
You can piss off now, Fly. Because in as little as 6 weeks, Fungilong will add both volume and density to your scalp.
I mean, now you're just lying, bro.
In theory, Fungilong is safe as milk, and there's no reason to suspect that any of the spores will make their way into the brain. I mean, it's odd that they would actually put that in the ad copy, but okay. Anyway, folks, I've been on Fungilong for the past 6 weeks, and I'm already having success. Yeah, let me get this stupid hat off so you can get the camera in there nice and tight.
No, Barry, don't show him your ugly-ass head. You're gonna run off another sponsor, bro.
Oh, yes. Just take a gander at that lion's mane. I can feel the vitality.
Please tell me that junk only grows on your head.
It grows wherever there are hair follicles, Fly. And I do mean wherever.
Ugh. The promo code is BRAINSPORE. Please, God, let's get back to Bill Murray.
Game on!
So next we've got the ghosts of Christmas past and present, played by David Johansen and Carol Kane, respectively.
David Johansen? Hey, ain't that the guy from New York Dolls?
Yes, and he absolutely nails his role in Scrooged as the filthy, chain-smoking, cab-driving ghost.
Let's face it, Frank. Garden slugs got more out of life than you did.
But the belle of the ball is Carol Kane as the shit-kicking ghost of Christmas Present, who delivers the kind of ass-whooping that Bill Murray probably deserves. We'll get into that later on.
I'm the ghost of Christmas Present.
And yes, that's also her in The Princess Bride.
Whoa! She bears a striking resemblance to the last woman you brought home, Barry.
Kiss my ass, Fly. Gwendolyn is 1,000 times hotter than geriatric Carol Kane.
Liar! Liar!
Son of a bitch. All right, roll some more S&M clips.
You have to slap them in the face. Close your eyes, perhaps to Harlem.
Nowadays, you'd have to pay big money for a woman in a fairy costume to smack the shit out of him like that.
Still, it needs to be mentioned that this movie offers an impressive dynamic range. Sure, it's got the comedy, but it's also heavy on the pathos. For instance, the scenes where we get to witness the home life of Grace, Frank's secretary, played by Alfre Woodard. Grace, whose name, like Cross's, is somewhat heavy-handed in its implications, completes the Bob Cratchit archetype in conjunction with Goldthwait's Elliot Laundermilk.
Plug him in!
Take it off. Mom, when are we going to get a real tree? When they're free?
More dramatic yet is the fate of Grace's emotionally stunted son, Calvin, as told by the ghost of Christmas future.
Merry Christmas, Calvin.
I mean, it's not all bad. The padded room looks a lot cleaner than this apartment. I bet the food's a lot better than the slop you've been cooking.
There's something genuinely haunting about Frank's visit to his own childhood home, via the ghost of Christmas past. The parents don't seem quite so much cruel as merely oblivious to little Frankie's presence. Both Brian Doyle Murray and Lisa Mende are utterly convincing in their roles, and the 1950s set commands a high level of authenticity.
Here, Francis. Merry Christmas.
A choo-choo train?
It's not a choo-choo train, is it, Barry?
No, it's 5 pounds of veal.
Frank's still an asshole, but you sort of understand why it is he built his metaphorical wall against the world.
But Daddy, I asked Santa for a choo-choo.
Well, then go out and get a job and buy a choo-choo.
Let's not pretend veal is the worst Christmas present on the block. My old man usually just gave me a pack of cigarettes and a couple pounds of ground chuck.
Merry Christmas, Frankie Angel.
Merry Christmas to you, Mama.
Bro, stop getting all sentimental. You're not like Frank Cross.
I never claimed I was like him, asshole.
Frank grew up to be an executive. You grew up to get arrested at Denny's for getting drunk and pissing your pants.
It's also significant that for whatever reason, Claire, the character played by Karen Allen, actually loved Frank when they were younger. And the scene where Frank throws her away for a garbage kids TV show is genuinely painful.
Yeah, it is Christmas. It's a time to be a little bit less selfish, you know? Maybe if you could put my needs ahead of your own needs.
I'll tell him that you got hung up.
You were Claire for Frisbee the dog.
Okay, fine, I admit it. This is a movie that hurts, and it hurts in all the right ways.
Niagara Falls, Frankie Angel.
And just as we've witnessed Elliot Loudermilk's spiritual collapse, we also index Frank Cross's demise through his drinking habits. Early in the movie, we see that Grace already knows the routine. She's well accustomed to making him a mid-morning highball.
Mr. Cross, it's time for your Christmas list.
Later in the film, as the ghosts start to show up, Frank is left to mix his own drinks. It's almost as if part of him senses that he's about to receive a painful visitation. By the third act, Frank's degree in mixology has been revoked, and he's just downing the vodka straight, Bankrupt Barry style.
Dingy mist. Old Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, except Frank doesn't spend nearly as much time crying. Now, what about all that Bill Murray drama you promised?
Okay, let's start with Scrooged. The drama all comes down to Bill Murray thinking he should run the goddamn show instead of Richard Donner. For starters, Murray insisted on ad-libbing his lines, which is all well and good, except that this made production a nightmare for other actors like Karen Allen, who never knew what Murray was going to spew out next. Just imagine playing in a band. All the musicians have learned their parts meticulously, but then the guitarist decides he's too precious to follow a formula, so he just starts riffing.
Well, that person would have to be a pretty colossal asshole, right, Barry?
Yeah, but the performance happens to be great. Bill Murray absolutely crushes the role of Frank Cross.
Yeah, but the two ideas are not mutually exclusive. Bill Murray can both be brilliant and be an insufferable prick. Hey, riddle me this, Barry. Did Bill Murray and Richard Donner end up throwing shade at each other after the movie wrapped?
Bill Murray mostly just insulted Donner and claimed he was deaf, because Donner was constantly asking him to deliver his lines more loudly.
Would you please hold the goddamn hammering now?
Right. And what did the late Richard Donner have to say about Murray?
He said directing Murray was like standing on 42nd Street and Broadway, and the lights are out, and you're the traffic cop. I mean, he never really insulted Murray, said Murray was difficult, but also praised his talent. Did I mention that during that scene at the end of Scrooged, Murray flung Bobcat into the elevator so hard that Bobcat dinged his head and lost consciousness?
Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Uh-huh. Well, at least Scrooged was the only time Bill Murray acted like an asshole, right, Barry?
Well, he also drunkenly assaulted Richard Dreyfuss with a glass ashtray during a post-shoot dinner for What About Bob? And then on the set of Groundhog Day, Murray hired a personal assistant who was completely deaf, and with whom no one on the film could actually communicate. He did this to spite the late great Harold Ramis, who was heartbroken to find that his friend was trying to sabotage the film's production.
And did Harry Ramis have a reputation for being a difficult, self-important asshole?
No, he did not.
Damn. Well, at least that's everything, right?
Bill Murray also berated Lucy Liu on the set of Hell's Angels, and their accounts of him behaving like a creep around Gina Davis. His ex-wife made allegations of physical violence, and he also punched Chevy Chase in Belushi's SNL dressing room.
He punched Chevy Chase. Huh. See, Bill Murray's not all bad. Anyway, let's get back to Scrooged. What about Frank Cross's miraculous conversion to saint at the end of the movie? Do you think it's too abrupt?
Conversion? There's no conversion. There's not even any Frank Cross, if we're being honest. It's Bill Murray playing Bill Murray throughout the whole movie.
Hey, that's my cab. Oh, sir, please.
During that scene at the end, his narcissism has reached a kind of terminal velocity. I mean, just look at him. He believes he has changed, but it's really just him getting high off of what a good person he thinks he is.
And it can happen to you. I believe in it now. I believe it's gonna happen to me now. I'm ready for it.
I mean, situating himself as the focal point of the TV show instead of letting the actors perform the Scrooge story. This is an S-tier demonstration of how to be an asshole.
Come on, let's hear it for all you folks out there. Come on. You don't know the words. Come on.
Now he's making everybody sing and dance. That's worse than masturbating at the opera.
You would know, Barry. You would know.
And yet, we still love this movie. There's no denying it. What are you doing now, Fly?
Man, let's do a stunt like they do on Jackass. It'll get us more viewers. Just open your mouth and say, "My name is Barry, and this is the candy catapult."
You will not fire any more goddamn candy canes in this apartment. We got ants enough already. Shit-ass.
Whoops.
Dirty Christ, it burns. How bad is it? My vision's going all stripey.
Yo, stop, drop, and roll, you fat f***. Didn't you learn anything in school?
Special thanks to all 3 of our subscribers. Happy holidays, you pricks. You better move your ass, Bill. Oh, this ain't the set of Groundhog Day. That's right. They got a taste for rich pricks like you. Ooh, clever girl, right, Bill? Remember that line? Big-ass pumpkin head. All right, hold still now. Almost got her. Shit. Well, that's the last shell, Bill. I think we're f***ed. Hurry up, Bill. Time is a factor.